There's a place for that story. And then it just went weird and just, it's like they forgot what made Terminator good. They remembered for a minute when they did that show, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. That was the thing where every week I was like, what are they going to do next? It was just intense, you know. They continued the same theme of being chased by the Terminators and John Connor being the one to start outwitting them and stuff like that. It was a really great continuation of that story, and they're like, oh no, we're gonna cancel this. What? People are watching it, it's good, we should probably cancel it. It doesn't make any sense.
We recording?
In just a moment, we're recording. This is it.
Hey,
this is the
we're
ITE
on, and we're back.
And we're back.
Welcome. It's this entertainment podcast.
We have a lot of fun in store today. Sun. We're going to talk about all kinds of thought-provoking subjects, such as.
That's right. I don't know. I don't know about thought-provoking. Maybe. Hopefully we get there. How you doing, man?
I'm
struggling.
I'm struggling a little bit. Yeah. I did my exercises this morning. Didn't help.
Nice. Oh no.
Yeah. Have my coffee. I do some like yoga stretching, then I do push-ups, and if I haven't murdered myself, then I do some crunches, and that's really it. It's pretty simple, basic.
Cool.
Because I only started doing push-ups maybe 2.5 months ago, and at the beginning I could barely do 10. So now I've gotten to the point where I can do 20 to 30 at a time. Typically half of them are the knee push-ups. And then I take a break, and then I do more, like another set of 20 or 30. Then it goes down, usually 20. Gotcha. And I just do that over and over until I can't do it. Yeah, that's it. And I feel a little stronger, like overall. Like I feel better. Like my posture normally is better. And that kind of thing.
Yeah. So you're doing a bunch of push-ups, and then going until you can't go, then taking a break, then doing more, and then
I feel stronger overall. But this is like fitness advice coming from somebody who has never been fit and probably still isn't. So who knows?
Yeah, I kind of fell off the wagon. I got the food poisoning, that was like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, it kind of knocked me out for 2 days. And I was like, I just don't want to work out the next day. And then just like being sedentary for a little bit. It has snowballed a little.
I skipped 2 days, and so maybe that's why today was so rough. Like I couldn't even get to my normal number. Like I had been like hitting about 70 push-ups typically, and I've gotten all the way up to 90, and now I'm down to like today I only did 2 sets. I just did 40. I'm just like meh, just below average today.
Hey man, it's all right. Look, it's a little gloomy outside. Just a easy breezy Sunday. We don't have to take it too hard.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I'll ramp it up all week, and hopefully I'll hit 100. That's been my goal forever. Hopefully I'll hit 100. And
nice.
Then I'll have a new goal of doing 100 actual push-ups and not half knee and half regular. So we'll get there eventually. Yeah,
that's cool. I've been on a trying to eat healthier kick. Not that I've been like not eating healthily, but we've decided since it's a little warmer to reintroduce salads into the diet. So I've been trying to do at least 2, maybe 3 nights a week where it's a salad and a protein kind of a deal. So that's been nice. Nice. But then I made fried chicken last night and wrecked everything.
That'll do it. Like we did the same thing. We've been eating good. Every Saturday we've been doing steak and potatoes. But we cook it ourselves, so it's just really great. And with a little bit of salad. So steak, salad, potatoes, all the major food groups.
Perfect.
And then yesterday we messed it all up. We did Chinese, and we both feel a little over MSG'd, a little cooked.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Hey, so fun thing that you did this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's up on our website.
I wrote just a little blurb about the Taylor Swift redoing her first 5 albums. I think eventually she's going to do her 6th when she can. But yeah, just a little blurb on here, like why she doesn't own her rights to her own recording, stuff like that. Basically, any label deal, you're signing away all your rights to your recording, and then they give you 20% of the income or less back, and then you have to pay off the advance with that 20%. So it's a pretty rough situation anytime somebody signs a record label deal. That's just sort of my warning.
If when you and I put something out as Dual Paradigm and it's on Spotify right now, our one song.
Yeah.
It is on Spotify. Yes.
It is on Spotify.
Now, with our agreement through Spotify, they have no ownership. They're just
Distributors, yeah.
Spotify has. They're just distributing. Okay.
Yeah. But the way that they
Gotcha.
pay you royalties that's the messed up part. So like they have a pool of money that's given to them by the users. Theoretically, they should divide that pool up evenly based on the number of listens that you get, but they don't. They put it into buckets. So there's a bucket for major label artists, these artists on this label, a bucket for this, and then the scraps get distributed to us folk. Yeah, which is why there's that whole
So if
big...
we got 10 million listens to one song, and Taylor Swift got 10 million listens to one song, she would get a much bigger payday than we did. Gotcha.
Yeah, which is really sad. I didn't even realize that was the way it worked until recently. I thought everybody got like an even, but no, they put it in buckets, which is really unfair. Yeah. There's a lot of new stuff going on with audio. I don't know if you're following any of this like NFT cryptocurrency stuff.
I'm like just scratching the surface on understanding what that is.
It's like,
but if you could explain it to me.
Logically, it makes no sense, but for whatever reason, it's taking off. So you and I, we can record a song, and then we can say, okay, even though the song can be copied and duplicated, we can say, oh no, there's only just this one version of it. We can make a limited number of versions of it that are the official versions, like a certificate, if you will. So like you're getting that poster signed, basically. And so it's like a piece of artwork hanging on a wall is what they're trying to equate it to. The only thing is it's still digital, but for whatever reason, if you say there's only 10 of them, then there's only 10 of them. And then the price of that thing can be more and more and more. People bid on it, essentially. So that's what's going on. So I think it's something we should look into more.
What's confusing to me is the idea that how I came to know about this was through like sports highlights from the NBA. And basically almost it being like the modern baseball card, really.
Yeah.
Of here's this highlight dunk and it's a 10-second clip and maybe it has this added like little effect. But I'm like, can't anybody just find the video of that dunk?
Yeah, but if you don't have the token or the certificate, then it's not the official dunk video. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
That's...
Yeah, so there's that seal of approval.
But it's just people are buying into the seal of approval. Yeah, it's really, that's all it is. It's like you say there's only 10 of these seals or 100 of these seals or 1,000 of these seals. And supposedly there's more value to it because there's, what's the word I'm looking for? There's scarcity. Yeah, scarcity. Yeah. That's it. Like fake scarcity. But it's real because there's only so many.
There's incredibly abundant thing, and we're creating. That's wild.
Yeah. What's really cool about this for artists is that we can make a song once, put it out, say there's only 100 tokens of it. Somebody can buy it, say they buy it for 10 cents or whatever. But then later they decide to sell their official song to somebody else. And then they sell it for 20 cents. As the artist...
It's almost like the Wu-Tang album.
But here's the cool thing for artists. We can put in a royalty so that every time it gets sold, we get 10% back. So as it approaches a higher number, and that's how these artists are becoming just all of a sudden wealthy. Because some of these guys are selling for $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, and they're getting a 10% kickback each time it gets sold. So the artist is really benefiting in a major way. The trick to getting people to buy it, I don't understand what that is. Like, why are some NFTs, they sit at 10 cents, where some NFTs go to $50,000? That trick, it's probably worth experimenting with a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So is there like a website for these?
There's a few of these things going on. But yeah, it's a thing. I think we should both do some research on it, and maybe we'll have a song. Maybe we just release it as an NFT. We'll see.
Let's get on the cutting edge.
Why not? I mean, it's worth trying. The thing that's weird is that people are doing this with images and digital art and stuff, and it's somebody can just draw a smiley face or whatever and get $10,000. It's just the weirdest.
Right.
I guess if there's a market for it, I don't understand it. It's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It does feel kind of like a pyramid scheme. Like the people that got on it first are going to make more money than the people that get on it later, in a sense, because the artists with the track record they made a name for themselves or whatever. So they're the top artists. We'll see. It'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm going to have to start paying more attention.
And you can do like NFT versions of the song. Like we could release another version of the song that we have, which is we could do like an acoustic version of the song or add an extra verse or whatever. And that could be the NFT token version. So there's all kind of ways to do it.
Yeah. This is a big week coming up. We've got two big premieres going on. One on the Disney Plus, one in the HBO Max world. So big streaming week. Snyder Cut coming out. And then Falcon and Winter Soldier coming out like the next day. Really, really coming up against each other on this.
I keep seeing trailers for the Snyder Cut, but I don't actually watch the trailers. I'm the worst at this.
I've been avoiding them because I'm like, I want to, even though I've seen the first version of the movie. This is so wild that I'm like, oh, here we go. Another version of the same movie. I don't understand why I'm excited about it. I don't understand. Like, has this ever happened before? I mean, I know people like the director's cut of Blade Runner more than the theatrical release, to the point where you can't even get the theatrical release anymore.
It shouldn't be a thing, but it is. I think it's just people's excitement for this movie is the excitement we had when it first came out, because the stuff in the trailers from the first time the movie was supposed to be released is the stuff that we're going to actually see instead of what we got. We got the big letdown. Yeah.
Man, has anybody fallen off in the last, 9 years more than Joss Whedon? Think about 2012. That dude was on top of the world when the Avengers came out. Like, that guy could literally write his own checks. Could do whatever he wanted. Now.
Yeah. I don't know all the details, but
Yeah, basically, okay, so it's a couple of things. One, his on-set presence is generally toxic. Like, he has a tendency to basically just like talk shit about people all the time, and does that to pit people against each other. And maybe it's to try to get, to get a solid performance out of people. I don't know. But just people from every show he's ever worked on coming out of the woodwork and saying, yeah, he said some really terrible stuff. And he was not a pleasant person to be around and made me feel bad about myself. So there's that, right? Then there's also his ex-wife was basically like, hey, this guy created all of these like positive female heroes with Buffy and what was that other show?
Firefly. No, that wasn't
with Elijah Dushku.
Oh, not Buffy.
That one.
Yeah.
Either way, and she was like, he's gotten this reputation as a good good guy who promotes female characters. Yeah, pro woman. And she was like, so he's been cheating on me, X, Y, and Z for the last however many years. He's screwed over this person and this person, just laid it all out and was like, he's a terrible person and y'all shouldn't be thrilled about him. So like on a personal level, the dude is trashed. And then from a professional level, like Age of Ultron came out and it was not it didn't hit the way that the first Avengers hit.
Yeah.
And then he takes over this movie and just craps the bed. Just so like professionally, yeah, absent of all of that personal stuff, could he? Oh, and he was signed on to do like a Batgirl movie. And then DC was like, nah, bro, we're going to go ahead.
Was all that personal stuff coming out while he was directing this? Maybe that had something to do with it.
No, I think all that came out afterward.
After?
Yeah.
So
I think
strange.
I read a thing this week that said that while, and this is all however many years after the fact, so who knows, but I think it was like Ray Fisher was talking about how Joss Whedon would constantly reference Age of Ultron almost in like a way of like, I can't believe people didn't like that movie, and trying to insert things from Age of Ultron into this movie because to try to get people to like it. I don't know, because those bits didn't work in Age of Ultron. So he was like, let me try it in this movie. And that'll be my little homage to myself. I don't know. Or that could just be Ray Fisher being pissed off and taking every possible, he
has all these like
thing kind of out of context.
Unsubstantiated claims. Oh, something bad happened to me, but I'm not going to tell you what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. From what I've seen, it was basically just he was a terrible person to work with, and he would berate actors and make them feel like crap all the time. And
not a good time.
And then a bunch of other people came out and said, hey, that's kind of his MO. and it's not fun.
Yeah, what was that show? What was that show with what's her face? Oh gosh.
Dang it, what was that?
What was the Dolls or something?
Dollhouse.
Dollhouse, yeah. Oh my
Dollhouse.
gosh. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the all girls.
Never wa-
If you think about it, that's
Something
really
like
creepy.
that. They were like assassins or something.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're putting a bunch of girls in a
Yeah,
box.
and then a thing came out where like Michelle Trachtenberg, who was like 13 at the time when she was on Buffy, they had like a he can't be alone with her rule
Oh wow. Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not great.
Yeah.
Not great stuff.
I don't even know what to say about that. Like, obviously she's too young. Obviously, way too young. But if you're in that position of power, like, you know, you have to be a really good person. Like, that's what it comes down to. And people get tempted, and you know, people trust you.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Aside from just not being a shitty person, yeah, a lot of people fall prey to the power dynamics, and that happens everywhere. I mean, you see that with the older manager at the restaurant and the 17-year-old girl who's waiting tables. Like, you see that all the time.
Yeah.
And
I worked at a restaurant.
You know,
a few restaurants, but I didn't realize that was happening really bad at one I was working at in Florida until like after, and people were talking about what happened. I was like, oh my God, like it's just nuts.
See, that's why I like the amusement park. Everybody's generally the same age. You don't have too much of that like high-low stuff. Everybody was generally the same age, which made it like another version of high school and college, but at least it was a safer space.
Yeah, but like these things are like terrible things. What we're talking about is like terrible. These are terrible things that happen in real life.
Not kinda. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Like it's, yeah.
But definitely. Now, like, I don't want to cut this out, but I watch stuff on Twitter and I watch stuff on Facebook, and it's people get so bent out of shape over something, nothing that anybody did, just something they said. And it's just the weirdest thing.
Wait, though.
They have weight, but I literally watched a conversation.
I mean, I guess it also depends on, is this a person that you know, or is this a person that you care about? Or are we talking about like random people who don't know each other talking to each other online?
All right, two things. I've seen the random people on Twitter. I've seen that. That's gross. And then I have two people I know. I know one of them, and the other person knows the other person. And somehow they took all, I literally read with my eyes every single word they said, took every single word out of context, and like got upset and offended. And then other people decided to jump in and get upset and offended. Then the person says what they said and clarifies it, and they still choose to get offended. And it's like, how is this even happening? They're not reading the words that the person is saying. And it's just like, I don't even know. How can this be a thing? Like, being offended is the cool new thing now. Like, let's all just be offended. I don't know. It's weird, man.
Well, I wouldn't say that being offended is the cool new thing. I think it's more subconscious than that. I think I think the past year has been incredibly taxing for everybody. Everybody's a little keyed up. Everybody's generally keyed up around election time anyway. So tack on a global pandemic. And we've all forgotten how to socialize, being like in the same space as people and stuff. Yeah. So much is happening online that I think it's a perfect storm for people to just blow up on tiny things.
But it's not even the things that are being said. It's the mind reading behind it. It's like, I know that your intention is this, so I'm going to get mad at you and then say that you're this. And it's like, what just happened? This person is the kind of person that supports you and your type. Like,
oh yeah, I'm not defending people barking at each other on the internet. I'm not defending that at all.
We can get upset, but we don't have to blurt it back out. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be blurted. Like, I can be upset and then I can think about it and go, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Or maybe they were just having a bad day. Yeah. Or whatever. Or maybe I misread that wrong. But
or
now,
I know this person.
It encourages us to type it back out and put our response out there, and be upset and be offended. Like, it's weird to me. It's so strange. Am I wrong? Do you not see this happening?
No. Happening all the time. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's becoming more and more commonplace. Like, it's just like somebody says something, they take it out of context, they infer a meaning that may or may not have been there, and then they attack that person. And it's just crazy to me. Like, I'm just seeing it more and more, and it's just weird. Just totally weird.
Yeah, I think we all need to take a step back and take a look at what our online presence is. And if somebody that I'm friends with on social media says something that I disagree with or think is silly, then, I try to take a moment and be like, and remember why I like that person. I have genuine love for this person. And so we stopped giving each other the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I think some ways ago. And I think we need to do a little bit more of that.
Yeah. Like read the words that are on the screen, but instead they're just choosing to be offended because like, it's God, I can't even, I don't have words for it, but I just feel like there's going to be more and more of this because being a victim is the thing to do now. Like just don't take ownership for your own well-being, just blame everybody else or whatever. Like it's the weirdest way to operate. Like you can never be happy because other people are always doing things to you. It's, you know what I mean? Like happiness is not on the table. Getting along with people of different types is not on the table. It's not on the table because like everybody's racist. It's just the weirdest thing. Like why can't we think about the result that we want and operate from that mode instead of this mode of everything is broken and torn apart and it's your fault. It's just I don't know, man. Like maybe I'm taking it too far.
There's also the complication of there is real injustice out in the world. So there are people who are actual victims, right? So delineating between who, it's tough and it's all very nuanced. You know what I mean? And that's a thing that not everybody's great at anymore. Like things that are like boring and complicated. That's not something that like a whole lot of people are attaching themselves to. It's a lot easier to just go to scream, this is what will solve the problem, as opposed to, no, here's the 150 page plan that's going to take 5 years that's going to solve the problem. You know what I mean?
It's just, to me, it should be about being the example and not always about looking for things that are wrong. You know what I mean? I guess the different take I have. If I'm always looking for something that's wrong, I'm going to find it everywhere. If I'm looking for things that are good.
What makes you think that people are always looking for something that's wrong?
That's what I'm talking about. That's how these arguments happen, where one person is literally trying to maybe even help the other person, and they're interpreting it as being attacked. And this is not like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is not what that person, it's so obvious that person did not mean it in that way at all. And because they have the filter of looking at what's wrong and being a victim or being attacked, that they can't even see that the other person meant well and was really trying to help them. If you always have that filter on, things will never get better. They'll never get better because you don't have inside of you the possibility that people are really trying to help each other or make things better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That could very well be real.
That's my concern. I just see more and more of it. Like this type of thinking is becoming taught in schools, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad for the future because it's going to take a while for that to go away, or at least open up to where, like you said, zoom out and see different angles. It's going to take a while for people to do that.
Now, can I challenge you on this, though? How do you know what's being taught in schools?
I've seen some quizzes and things. I've been watching videos about it. Yeah.
But I think because context is important, but it's such a broad thing. It's such a broad statement that like...
All right, I'll come in with facts next time. I'll come in with the facts.
No. Look, right? 150-page paper on just for fun.
Yeah.
For you and I.
Yeah.
So Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out this week. You excited?
No, I canceled my Disney Plus subscription.
Are you serious?
I put the reason you canceled your Disney Plus, I put,
Wow. Taking a stand. Wow. Really? You're not going to watch the next Marvel show?
No, I'm going to watch it.
Are you messing with me? Come on, man. Wow. Dude, you had me going.
No, I thought about it. I really did think about it. I this whole situation has really got me a little bit upset because the facts are different than the stories the media is putting out. And most people, after doing the research on the topic that we're not even discussing, agree with me. You know what I mean? So it's just upsetting. But yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm sure it'll be fun. Like, we're out of stuff to watch. So that's kind of it's something I'll watch. Not super hyped about it, though.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know the stakes. I don't know what's going on, why it's important. I don't know. I think I watched the trailer. I don't remember what happened. I remember lots of things like action, running, and fighting and exploding things. But I don't know what the story is. It's not intriguing like WandaVision to me was like just weird. And what is this thing? This is not something we've seen ever. So this has got to be something. Whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier, I feel like we've seen this movie before.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'd say I like their dynamic in, was it Civil War? Yeah, Civil War. Like where they were fighting Spider-Man and giving each other a hard time throughout the movie. I really enjoyed that. I thought the two of them had a fun dynamic. So doing some sort of buddy cop kind of vibe with them two, I think that's fun. That's worth exploring. Yeah. And then also exploring like, what is the Marvel Universe post Captain America?
You're right. I'm sure once I see the first episode, I'll be all in. But at this point, with no knowledge of what's happening, I'm just not that intrigued. So
see, I like going in blank. The last couple of years, I've been real. I guess it was probably when The Force Awakens came around. When The Force Awakens came around is when I got really into, I don't want to see a single trailer. I want to go in completely blank, so that, because I feel like so many movies where I would watch the trailer and then I'm thinking, well, there was this one scene that I saw in the trailer and it looked cool. And when is that going to happen? And then it doesn't happen to the end of the movie or something like that. It's like those little things, they take me out of it. I start trying to guess where things are going or what's going to happen too much. And as evidenced by WandaVision, like you can go down some crazy rabbit holes that probably aren't there. So I would like to just go in blank, be surprised. So yeah, like all of the new Star Wars movies, I tried to completely avoid spoilers or trailers so that I wouldn't see set pieces or just anything too much.
Get that.
Yeah.
Yep. For me, this one is exactly that. I don't know what it is. I'm not super interested. I hope after I watch the first episode, I'm hooked. I really hope I'm hooked. But if WandaVision is any testament, then it's to what they can create, then hopefully it'll be great.
Zemo is back.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't he die though?
The villain. No, they put him in that like crazy like roller coaster chair. In the glass box, they put him in that thing, and then Martin Freeman was like, "You'll be in here forever," thing. And
that scene at the end of the movie where he does the monologue for what, like he's on the side of a cliff or whatever. And I always like while that scene is going on, I imagine him like jumping off the cliff in my head, and so I guess that memory stuck because that would have been the rational thing for the character to do at that point. I think would be to just, screw it. But that didn't happen.
No, he listens to the voicemail from his wife one last time and then pulls the gun out, tries to shoot himself, but then Black Panther comes in, stops the bullet. You're going to have to live with what you did.
My memory serves me so poorly. So he did try to kill himself and something interfered with it. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Black Panther stopped him.
I did want to talk.
It's Pi Day.
Is it Pi Day? Oh, God. Math is hard. I did want to mention a couple other things about Snyderverse because I thought about it. My wife and I went and watched Man of Steel again, like not too long ago. It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
He set up a world that was really interesting. And it's just a shame that like his vision didn't quite pan out, And
I think you went just a little too dark with Batman versus Superman. Because like on its whole, Man of Steel, to me, don't get me wrong, it has that Snyder color grading kind of vibe. But yeah, Batman vs. Superman took it to another level. But at the same time, like, I still enjoy the movie. And
did you see the
director's? Oh, yeah. Honestly, like, I saw the theatrical version in the theater. And then when I got it on the Blu-ray, so the second time I watched it, I watched the director's cut. And I was like, oh, this is a lot better. Because it really, like, goes into a little bit more detail about it.
Yeah, everything actually makes sense. You can follow the story.
Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense. That's good. That's good. There's like a whole character that just is just completely edited out of the movie. Yeah, the whole story of the bullets and how Lois figures out that Lex is behind things.
Right. Yeah, made more sense. Made more sense instead of Lex just showing up as some crazy wacky guy. There was a little bit of context to the thing. So, like, I'm secretly in the back of my mind hoping that this does so well that they continue with a little more Batfleck. Because I love Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the suit he's wearing. I don't know. But I just want to see more of it. Like, I want to see a Batman story with Ben Affleck. I don't want to see Robert Pattinson. And speaking of which, have you heard about this news that came out with Robert Pattinson recently?
No.
There are reports of him doing naughty things with Catwoman
Okay.
on top of like the Batmobile or some car or something on a set piece in public, like in front of everybody. Yeah. And like
Weird. Interesting.
this guy has just lost his marbles. Like he just doesn't give two F's about anything, it seems like.
All right.
If you thought Joss Whedon was hard to work with, this guy sounds like just, can you just put it in your pants for a minute so we can shoot the scene? Holy crap. Yeah.
Interesting. Because that's Kravitz. That's Zoe Kravitz is playing.
So supposedly they're a thing, yeah, in real life. Before the public display, there were private displays. And yeah.
Interesting.
I'm trying to keep this PG for your nephew, sorry.
Oh, yeah. One of our solid listeners.
Yeah.
What's up, Liam? What's up, Isaac?
Shout out.
What's up, Ava? Shout out to the kids listening to the show. Yep. All right. Anything else on Snyderverse you got?
No, I just wanted to say that. I really like the Batfleck was convincing to me. And I wanted to see more of that character. He was a little violent, obviously, in the BVS.
Well,
why
he'll
isn't
be in the
that
Flash
out?
movie. I don't know how
shoot
long.
that movie like 5 years ago?
Oh, no. They've had 6 directors all quit at some point. Like, it's been rewritten. It's been all kinds of things. But now I think they have a good script and they have a director locked in. And I believe they're starting to film, or they may have already started. It's really close. It's really close, and it sounds like it's actually happening.
Right.
But Billy Crudup is out. I saw that this week. He, scheduling conflict, couldn't be in the movie. Billy Crudup, he plays the Flash's incarcerated father.
Oh.
Yeah, he couldn't make it.
Scheduling.
He's got scheduling conflicts.
Like he couldn't just take a day and shoot a movie.
I guess not. I guess he's filming something else that's paying him more.
So he's not going to be in it? Or somebody else is going to play the father?
Not going to be in it.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll recast. Him and Ezra Miller look enough alike to where, man, you're not going to strike oil twice with somebody. Yeah, you could deep fake. Man, did you see that story about the lady like deep faking a bunch of kids on this lady like did a deep fake of some videos putting kids who were on the cheerleading team and then leaked these like R-rated videos with these cheerleading kids' faces on them. And then in an effort to either get her daughter onto the cheerleading team so that the like coach would kick them out, elevate on the cheerleading team.
Wow.
Yeah. Deepfakes is going to get bad. We will not use this for good all the time.
It's not expensive. Can anybody just drag and drop on the internet and make one? Or do you have to pay? Like, why
there's like a whole like start there. I think there is a payment thing structure but like you get I read an article where if you go and you sign up or whatever, they send you the Nicolas Cage starter kit. So you can use like the starter kit gives you Nicolas Cage to work with. That's then you can, use other people. That's great.
Yeah.
That's
maybe it's just like code on GitHub. You can just download it. Anybody can get it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just like open source deepfake. Yeah. Yeah. What a great idea. Open source.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genius. Too, though, that's what I'm looking at with this AI tech stuff, though, is where it's getting weird, too, because you can write.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. And then they have the photo thing, too. So you could put put Nick Cage in this position doing this thing, and it'll generate a photo of it. That's the weird, crazy.
Wild.
Like, AI is getting weird, man. Like, you just need a semi-active imagination, and you can make stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. What were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I was just going to bring it back to Snyder Cut and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That makes sense.
So here's the conundrum that I have this week. Here's my conundrum. I'm excited about so Snyder Cut comes out on Thursday. Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out on Friday. Thursday night, the NCAA basketball tournament starts. And it is the greatest 4.5 days of basketball watching because it's basketball games from like noon until midnight. And it's a lot of fun. It's like holiday tradition for the Owenses to just go nuts on watching basketball. So I'm going to have to try to fit in a 4-hour Justice League movie with all of this basketball watching going on. Like, why so many things all happening on the third week of March? Got the basketball.
It's probably like a new moon or something, or some kind of solar eclipse that.
Oh, and it's
Equinox.
also what St. Patrick's Day is Wednesday, which is like such a whatever holiday for me. But yeah, I feel like this weekend or this week of the year, there's always like a bunch of stuff going on. It also feels like that's normally the first like nice warm weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung.
I put the snow shovel back in the cellar.
Wise decision.
Hoping I don't have to go get it.
You have a
hoping
cellar?
I don't have to go back down there and get it. Yeah, we got like a little outdoor. You got a little like yeah.
That's creepy. Is it scary?
Oh, it's super creepy. It's super creepy. And then even creepier, there's a crawl space to get it. So like the cellar's probably under the kitchen, which is only probably 10 feet long, 20 feet wide, maybe 30 feet. I don't know. I'm bad with weights and measures. But then, yeah, then it's crawl space for the rest of the house. And so if I ever have to go under there, I don't want to do that.
Raccoons and who knows what under there.
Oh, absolutely. Possums and just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. No, thank you.
And then I think there's like I think some birds have made their way through the brick here into some of the attic space. So I'm going to have to go in there through the creepy tiny door.
I think you can call somebody
out.
for that. I think you should call somebody. There's a good chance those are bats, not birds.
Oh, that would not be fun.
Yeah.
I would not. Yeah. If I saw some bats, I'd be like, you know what? We'll have a symbiotic relationship here. You don't come through the drywall. I don't go past the creepy door. I will call a guy. Y'all got a month. I'm giving you notice. Giving y'all bats notice.
Yeah.
After that, I'm calling a guy.
Maybe you can smoke them out or whatever.
Who knows? Before I go in there, I'm going to make a whole bunch of noise that gets them to shoo out of here. And I can't tell if they're actually in there or if they're just like on the roof, like pecking around. So I'm just going to have to put on my headlamp and just check it out.
I would
never do my diligence.
I would never, even if I own the house.
Oh yeah.
There's no way. Nope. Call a guy for that.
Fine. I pay this mortgage.
Nope. Call a guy.
Yeah. I did have a squirrel. A squirrel dropped in through our like vent one time. This is probably like a year ago. Maybe no, it was pre-pandemic. But this squirrel like dropped in through a vent and then just shows up next to the HVAC. And I'm like, "What are you doing in my house, squirrel?" He's like making this high-pitched squeal noise. I'm like, "What's happening over here? Is there a bird in my house?" No, it was a squirrel. So then I trapped him under a tub and then called a guy so that he could humanely dispense him into the woods or something.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to just like slide a piece of cardboard under there and then just like carry him out and let him go or whatever. But my wife was like, no, call a professional. And I was like,
yeah, you were halfway there. You could have just
called a professional.
Did the cardboard.
I know, right?
Yeah. If you're going to go through all the
if we were on the first
floor,
it would have been a much easier sell of, look, I just got to get him
from
20 feet that way to the door.
Yeah.
I think once stairs were in the equation, that was where we called a guy.
Yeah, call a guy. I'm all for calling a guy.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about guys editing our videos. I've been thinking about guys like writing blog. I've been thinking about guys coming and cleaning my house. Like, how much time am I wasting doing stuff that is not going to make me money?
Call a guy. So speaking of making money, how do you like that transition?
It's good.
Speaking of making money, James Cameron re-released Avatar for the billionth time in theaters in China this week. So now they took in extra money and have pulled ahead of Avengers Endgame as the highest box office ever. Did he do it just for that? Did he do it just to get the Chinese audience refreshed on Avatar? I don't know. When are these Avatar movies happening? Because he's been working on them forever. What are your thoughts?
It sounds like a cash grab or something because he's been working on these films forever.
What if he's running over budget?
For sure. How can you go 10 years of pre-production? You know what I mean? Have they even started shooting? You can't have 10 years of pre-production.
I think they've at least started. Like, Sam Worthington was like a huge star when this movie came out, and his star has faded big time.
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana is now the bright shining star of this cast.
But the thing that I also know about Chinese movie theaters is that they have a very selective process of deciding what films go into their playlist there. The fact that he got it pushed through, that's something in of itself. Yeah. Kudos to James Cameron. He got a little bit of do your
money
thing back into his project so he can do pre-production for another 5 years.
Yeah. Or is he taking advantage of a situation where there isn't a whole lot of content to go into theaters right now? So we can put Avatar in.
Avatar
make a little money.
It was not a small movie.
Is a visual. Yeah, it was a visually wonderful movie. Like, it is a lot of fun to look at and should be watched in theaters. Or it's one of the few movies where I feel like watching it in theaters is preferential to watching it like on a TV in your house. So, yeah, why not?
And the story is very universal. Hits all the typical points.
It's Fern Gully.
Yeah, it's Fern Gully. It's what's the other one? It's John Smith and Pocahontas. It's Pocahontas. Yeah, Space Pocahontas. And you can't take your eyes off of the screen. You can't. Like
it's a solid movie. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's crap. I'm not saying that they're putting we
live in a world where people put out content all the time. Like, there's just content. And there was a time before all this content where there were only so many movies. So films would get re-released in theaters on a semi-regular basis. Like, I know Star Wars had a re-release. Gone with the Wind had probably several released. Like, this kind of thing was normal for a while. So it's not like it's out of the ordinary. It's just now there's so many options and so many films that you don't have time to go back. But with this pause on production and pause on society in general, we got a little space. We got a little space left. There's a slot open. You got to fill it with something. Fill it with something that's going to work.
Yep. True. That's true. Yeah. And it is a visually stunning movie.
I remember watching some of the behind the scenes of how they made the character. And it's kind of creepy. They play on our emotions, making these characters look like dogs and cats and things like that humans like, and then morphing those features into their faces so that we have, what was the word? We feel for these.
Like familiarity. It's like an emotional predisposition.
Like an emotional attachment and understanding, and like we feel sorry for them just by looking at them. Like, that much thought went into the creation of these people. So they can't be the bad guys, even if they were. Yeah. That's all I got on that.
Yeah, I think my initial reaction was one of, come on, James Cameron. And the more I've thought about it and the more as we've talked it out, yeah, sure thing. Do your thing, James Cameron. Go for it. Why not? Why not?
I don't want him to go out of business before Avatar 2 comes out. Good
Definitely. At this point, I'm just intrigued by what could 2, 3, and 4 all have in store. Do I think they're going to be the greatest movies ever? Do I think it's going to be the best franchise ever? No, not at all. But I'm sure it'll be really fun to look at. James Cameron does a good job at fun to look at. Terminator 2 was fun to look at.
Yeah. It was a better story, I think, too. It was not a throwaway story. And that's what I don't understand about every other Terminator movie is how did they forget about the story?
I didn't mind the Christian Bale one. I thought that one was pretty good.
I want to go back and rewatch that one because I think it probably was good. But at the time, it was a totally different format of film. Not format, but definitely. Structure of film than the first 2 Terminator movies, which were like running away from a thing. Whereas that one was like, I don't know, just like, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't even remember the movie. That's what's sad.
I mean, yeah, the story structure was completely different from the story structure of the other movies. Completely different.
Yeah, it's like
basically it was a man who went into the future as opposed to somebody who going into the past.
Yeah, it's like you forgot what made this thing awesome. I don't know, and I can see there's a place for that story, and then it just went weird and just. It's like they forgot what made Terminator good. Like they remembered for a minute when they did that show. What was the show? The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. I watched 1 or 2 episodes and I remember it being good, but it was on at a time where I had a lot going on with work or school or something. I wasn't able to follow along by the show.
Yeah, if there's a way to go back and watch it, do it, because I was just like, that was the thing where every week I was like, what are they going to do next? intense, you know, like they continued the same theme of being chased by the Terminators and John Connor being a little older, like being the one to start outwitting them and stuff like that. It was a really great continuation of that story. And it's just, they're like, oh, no, we're going to cancel this. What? People are watching it. It's good. We should probably cancel it. It doesn't make any sense. I think because it undermined the next Terminator movie or something like.
Yeah, because that third one came out with...
the fourth one or whatever it was, yeah.
Nick, whatever his name was, and Claire Danes. Yeah.
That was the movie that undermined Terminator, not the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
I don't remember.
It was sad, man. It was sad because it was amazing because all that stuff, all those effects we saw in T2, at the time they were revolutionary. Mm-hmm. But it had been
big time.
It had been so long that now that those effects and stuff were like so affordable and easy to do. So they were doing them in the show just every week in a TV show. Like you would see that kind of stuff. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. This is what I've been going deep on this week. I have never seen the Twilight films ever. I was aware of them, obviously. I worked at a bookstore. And I'm generally aware of most movies coming out, so I knew what was up. And I knew
what books?
I worked at Barnes and Noble at the Summit from 02 to 05, and then I worked at Borders on 4th Street in 06, 07, maybe even 08.
That's cool. Yeah. Like Barnes and Noble is like my favorite bookstore to just go in and kill time for no reason. It's a great place. When I had nowhere to go and I didn't want to go home, like I would just go to the bookstore and just pick up books and start reading, get some coffee, That
was my winter job when I was still seasonal. Okay. And then when I became full-time at the Kingdom, this is how crazy I was. I would take vacation days in the wintertime. So I would take off because, there's not a whole lot going on in the amusement park. We would just bank all of these vacation days throughout the summer because it's just so hard to take them. And then, so I would just take off every Friday in November. And then I would work at Borders on Fridays, Saturdays, and then Monday nights. Oh, yeah. So I was making crazy money. And I would use that to fund Christmas stuff. So
for a 20-year-old or 22 or whatever. Yeah. How old were you? 20?
Yeah, I was like 25, 20. Yeah, I was probably like 23, 24, 25, somewhere around there.
That's great.
Yeah. I remember the Twilight books coming out. I remember it being like a absolute teen sensation and then making the first movie and putting Robert Pattinson in it. And him becoming a big freaking deal because up until that point, he was Cedric Diggory from Harry Potter. Yeah, so I never saw the first one and didn't really think that was something that I needed at the time.
Because it was common knowledge at the time for both of us that these were vampires that could go in the sunlight and sparkle. And for us, growing up with the types Bram Stoker's and what was the other girl that had those books, those giant thick books of Interview with the Vampires.
Yeah.
So we had this idea of vampires that's super dark and gnarly and can't go in the sun. Mm-hmm. And the idea that vampires could even go in the sun for 5 seconds was like, no.
Right.
I'm not even going to look at that. That's how I felt about it. It's like, I'm not even gonna. I can't. But for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think working at the bookstore, because let's be honest, I worked in the music and DVDs part of the bookstore. Like I was the guy, I was always in the music section, handing out CDs or DVDs to people. So that's primarily where I worked. But so the booksellers were not fans of these books. The booksellers were basically like, as opposed to Harry Potter, every bookseller at Barnes and Noble and Borders, for the most part, was like, these are great and they're a lot of fun. With the Twilight books, it was like they were kind of looked down. So I think that also influenced me to the point where I was like, I don't need this in my life. And honestly, like I just assumed that it would just be on HBO one day and I would watch it, or it would be on TBS and I would watch it then. But like they really do they play around with all of the normal vampire lore that we all know. And they throw half of it away. No dagger, no stakes through the heart. That's not a thing. They're like, nope. Best way to kill a vampire is to rip its head off and then burn it. That seems a little violent. Buffy the Vampire Slayer taught us anything. A nice table leg or chair leg through the heart. and then you're golden. And they have like weird like porcelain kind of skin, and it's diamondy. So then they shimmer in the sunlight, which makes sense for the movie taking place in like Portland, Oregon, or in the upper Northwest, because it's cloudy all the time. But then, so for this first movie, it's like almost all these like blue tones, because they really hammer in the idea of, no, it's always hazy. And if there is a sunny day, then all of these vampires stay home from school that day, which is like big red flag. I think it's justified of, oh, the parents want to take them out like hiking and do outdoorsy stuff when it's nice out. So they let them skip school on those days.
That's another problem. The premise of the show is like, you got 100-year-old vampire, but no, I'm going to go to high school.
Go to high school.
Like, I remember high school, and I'm pretty sure I don't want to go back. That's not a thing that is occurring in my mind.
Edward's like, what? He's like 100-something years old. And he's basically doing junior year, senior year, freshman, sophomore year of college, and then moving to another town and doing those 4 years again. And they just all do that over and over again for years and years.
Because he's technically, he's technically
17. He's like 7.
Yeah, he's technically one of those.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a creepy old man. She's 17, man. Can't be doing that. Come on.
Yeah, but if you're 100 and you look like that with your porcelain skin.
Dude, if you're 100, then you just find another vampire who's also roughly the same deal as you. You should have learned your lesson. Can't be preying on some 17-year-old girl.
Yeah, you learned your lesson. You probably dated somebody. They got old and it was sad. So at that point, you're gonna date another vampire. You're not gonna go through that grief again. Yeah. Why would you do that to yourself over and over?
Yeah.
What's wrong with this guy? Like, all of it is sick. All of it is socially and mentally sick. That like I can't even
look. The more you get into it, like there's definitely like some abusive relationship undertones here. Like this dude's way too involved in her life, way too protective. Like it's a little much. It's a little much.
Yeah, psycho is a fair word to use here, I think.
Yeah.
It's. But for some reason, he's the hero. Why is he the hero? Because
honestly, I think she's the hero. I think he's like, she's definitely the protagonist. Like it's definitely as far as the movies go, they're about her and her experience. He's
not a bad guy somehow.
No, he's not he is not the antagonist. That's for sure. And they spend, I would say easily 20% of the movies just staring at each other. These movies are all about 2 hours and 15 minutes long, 2:18, somewhere around there. They would be a tight 90. Just like a tight 90 minutes if they cut out all of the staring. Like
it's a staring shot in slow motion, like panning around.
Awkward, like I'm about to start a sentence, but then I have to think about it. And then she reacts to him almost starting a sentence. And then she moves, but then she's staring. And then she plays with her hair for a second, and he takes a second to take that in.
Ah, Jesus. To be young
again. That's the movie. And if you cut that out, man, like I had this moment during the first movie where I turned to my wife and I was like, this is a lot easier if you just think that if instead of him being a vampire, you say he's like neurodiverse in some way, like he's got Asperger's or he's on the autism spectrum, because they're just like awkwardly talking to each other, and there's all these other high school kids around who are like doing their thing and like having fun and having social, like having all these social, and then like them two just don't quite get all the facial cues and the social cues. So it's like they're highly functioning, maybe they're just on the spectrum, and that's great. But so if you overlay that on the first movie, it's like him being like, hey, you're a little weird socially, I'm a little weird socially, let's be okay together, socially awkward. If you give it that conceit, it's a much more fun movie.
You can say that and it makes sense, but in the context of being a vampire and being 100 years old, you should have at some point accrued more and more wisdom and become more and more
would that
aware.
make you more awkward? would that make you more awkward? Plus, like, at any point in time, the cloud, like, weather changes. Weather changes all the time.
I'm just going to be real here.
It could start off the day cloudy, and then the sun could come out, and then everybody knows you're a sparkly diamond vampire. And how do you not walk around with that worry all the time? In the second or third movie, they go to Florida together. They get on a plane and go to Jacksonville. So you had to get a night flight. You have to. This does not get explained, by the way. You have to get a night flight, all right? Because how are you going to get from the plane to the car without the entire world being like, what is that? And then how do you get from the car to her mom's place where they're staying without somebody being like, hey, why do you sparkle? None of that gets explained. It's just him sitting indoors while Bella and her mom are hanging out outside. And it's just like, how did you even let this happen?
How did you think this was going to go?
Yeah. Oh, so you guys want to run out to the hot dog stand real quick? No, I'm just going to stay inside and play with my phone. Like, that's a terrible vacation, bro. That's a terrible vacation. You're a bad vacation guest. You're a bad house guest. Because he's probably, no, I just don't want to do anything. He also whispers throughout the whole, like, he's talked at a higher decibel than I'm talking right now. He's talked at this decibel 3 minutes out of 4 movies. And it was the part where she was almost dying. That's it. Everything else is...
Why?
It's been a ride, man, watching these movies.
It makes you wonder...
They were on Showtime.
But it makes you wonder, why was this such a big thing? Is it... Why did people...
Teenage wish fulfillment.
But yeah, like, why was it so accepted? Like, just, hey, yeah... Forget about all these logical things that make no sense. I just want to be taken by a vampire.
Because like, it's a love story, man.
It's setting up some kind of demented relationship structure for young girls. Right. Like they're gonna go into a relationship.
Yeah, it plants some seeds that don't need to be planted.
No,
that's for sure. Sick. You know, I haven't read the book, so I can't speak to it exactly. But from what I've seen of the movies, I would not let a 13-year-old read this. I would be like, no, not until you're like 30 and you have a strong sense of who you are as a person.
But the problem is, you don't have that discernment to realize, oh, this guy is a creep. You know what I mean? To us, it's obvious.
This is
just weird. But did she
like we all saw...
Didn't Bella at some point go, hey, this is weird, 100-year-old dude is into me? Like, did that... Was there a paragraph about that?
No, because I don't know if there is, but as the movies go, it feels like such a like elemental like attraction between the two of them that all logic be damned.
Hence the staring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh gosh, the staring, all of the staring.
I mean, I don't want to say it can't happen, but like, bruh, I don't know. I don't even have words.
So here's the other glaring fallacy of these movies. So vampires, werewolves come into play. A lot of werewolves. There's a lot of supernatural stuff. The thing that I had to comment about, it took me out of it. The thing that like just seemed really disingenuous to me is when they're in school, all of the other kids are super jazzed about learning. They are just like all the kids are like, they go on a field trip to this like farm and everybody's like super happy and running around and they're just like, we're learning. And they're like getting their hands dirty and working like all this stuff or whatever. Whoever wrote that has not hung out with teenagers on a field trip.
The irony of that is I feel like learning is really important and cool now that I'm old, but it's definitely in high school, not a priority at all.
No, that's like 4th or 5th. On the priority list. That's absolutely. She's the new girl in town. And the whole school is, hey, welcome, new girl. Would you like to be friends with us? What?
Never happens.
Excuse me?
No.
That's not how the new person gets greeted at a school.
You sit in the corner.
Yeah, you get one friend. And it's the outcast. And they will befriend you. And that will create a bond. And then maybe you can work your way up. Like... You got the A team, Anna Kendrick and the gang showing up being like, hey, what's up? We don't get new people much. So do you want to be our friend? Not a chance. Not a chance. She snags the hot vampire guy who's mysterious. Of course, absolutely. There would be some cattiness going on at this.
Do you think this series was sponsored by the Board of Education? Like, school is cool. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe. But the other thing is, like, all of their staring and awkward conversations are happening during class. You got a class full of 25 students and 2 of them aren't paying attention, and we're focusing on the 2 that aren't paying attention. Although there's a biology scene where it shows that they at least are paying attention enough to know what they're looking at when they look through the microscope at various biological things. So they're not bad students.
It's very hard for me to get emotionally invested in this at all. Like, I think I watched the first movie with my wife and I was like, I can't, like, I don't get it. Yeah. It's just,
well, somewhere about 2/3 of the way through movie 2, I was like, I'm invested in the story just because I've powered through. I would like to know what happens with all of these characters now, especially like what's going to happen with all these characters that's going to necessitate 3 more movies. And you can definitely tell that these were written as books. These were written as books. What a silly sentence to say. That you can tell that these were not just written films. Right. So like the source material is a book. So it has that kind of, there's a larger story at play that's going to take place over multiple books, but we're only focusing on this tiny other story for the purposes of this movie.
Yeah, and I think maybe the books can explain what they're thinking during all of those weird staring moments. Whereas, so you get the context. So maybe there is more context in the book, to be fair.
Yeah.
But still, man, just can't. I can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, just thinking about it hurts my head so much, like the logic of it. And it's the fact that this was the biggest thing ever.
It was such a big deal. And now nobody really talks about these movies anymore.
Is it one of those things where we were like a spell was cast over people and they thought it was amazing because it's just such an interesting concept. Oh, a vampire in high school that glows. Is that what happened? And then later, like, people grew up and go, yeah, that story is kind of meh. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was just like one of those things where it hit everybody who was at the right age and the right time.
I had a
a family member.
I have a family member who, I thought she was younger. She's younger than me. And so when all of this was coming out, she was really into it. And in retrospect, it's, oh my gosh, she was 12 or whatever. Like, that's, man.
I hope you don't think this is how relationships work.
She's, God bless her heart, but I know that she hadn't been in great relationships since then. And it would be a shame if any of that had to do with this. But bless her heart. I think things are probably getting better for her, but good. Jeez. This is what you have to start with. It's not a solid foundation for how things actually happen or work. Like, having conversations through staring is not the way to evolve your relationship. Like, I have conversations and I have to have conversations, and then I have to have conversations about those conversations to figure out what was actually meant or said, because that's how hard communication can be. And then
you gotta talk about the hard stuff. And talk about the hard stuff.
Infer it from a glance or a stare? Nah, man.
Oh, and then she's getting married at 18, which, hey, to each their own. Everybody's got a different journey. But her dad in this movie, or in all these movies, you feel for this guy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happens in the last movie, but I hope there's a real, hey, Charlie, we put you through the ringer, man, but it's going to be okay. I really hope there's a, hey, remember that time oh, dang it, I said... whatever I just said sounded like, hey, Siri. And Siri just came up because I said it again. Siri's just popping in, being like, what you need? I got you.
How can I be of service?
Yeah, I need to enunciate when I say sorry. Yeah.
What is this?
Can I say, hey, Charlie? Charlie, sorry? No? That didn't pull up.
Since we have Siri here, ask Siri what she thinks of Twilight films or books.
Hey, Siri, are the Twilight movies good? Oh, it's just showing me the Twilight movies. Oh, but it's giving me their Rotten Tomato scores: 49%, 48%, 49%, 25%, 28%. Wow.
That's terrible.
Yeah. King Dawn Part 1 and New Moon are not the favorites in the film series. Wow.
I don't even have words. It must be terrible.
They're fine. They're fine. Like, here's the thing. I don't think I've ever seen a bad movie. I like watching movies. So, are they like great stories with great writing? And like the cinematography in the first movie is very good. Like the director of the first movie made some like really strong choices, and I dug those choices. But the subsequent directors kind of shied away from that, and that's too bad. But so yeah. It has been a worthwhile adventure to watch 4 out of these 5 movies so far. But I certainly won't ever sit down and be like, oh, you know what I want to watch tonight? Let's watch the 3rd Twilight movie. That's never going to happen. Whereas I could put The Matrix on right now. Yeah.
We could do The Matrix. We could even do Interview with a Vampire. Like, I could do that again.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It's a little dark.
Now, if you had your choice to where you could be a sparkly vampire who lives forever. If you drink human blood, you get a reddish kind of glow to your eyes. But if you drink just like animal blood, then you get more of a yellowy, kind of a golden amber vibe.
What if you drink vegetable blood?
That's not a thing.
Green juice.
So
could you get
your
green
sparkly
eyes?
Doubtful.
It's not a vegan diet.
Cease to exist. No. Yeah. You also don't sleep. You don't sleep. So you don't sleep.
You don't sleep.
Yeah, these vampires do not.
Maybe that's why he has so many problems, social problems. Like not sleeping can make you crazy. So he's just never sleeping. So he's not resetting. He's not integrating all that data. So yeah, maybe that's what it is. He just needs to take a nap, vampire nap. I thought they slept during the day.
No, well, that's other vampire. That's
these are like 24/7 sparkly vampires.
Yeah, they are constantly always awake. So would you rather be a sparkly vampire who doesn't sleep, can go outside during the daytime, but generally you want to stay away from the sun? Or would you rather be a nighttime? Oh, and I don't think these guys can fly. And I don't think they can change into bats. But they can run really fast. And they're also incredibly strong. So run really fast, incredibly strong. So would you rather do that, or would you rather be I can fly, turn myself into a bat, but I got to sleep during the day, and if I go into the sunlight, I'm going to burn up? Which one would you rather be?
I've been sunburnt so bad that my head basically turned into a tomato before. So
yeah,
I'm probably going to have to go with sparkly vampire just based on like my laziness and practicality sense. But yeah,
I think I would be sparkly vampire as well. You know, something about being burned by the sun just doesn't sit right. So what did you watch this week?
Oh, what did I watch?
I already know. I just have to ask.
Yeah, no, I need the prompting. Yeah, a little Superman and Lois action. Get the.
This is on the CW, correct?
Yeah, we got a whole different thing going on here. I'm
looking him up. Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah.
In Corona, California. Oh, wow. He played infield for Arizona State for their College World Series team.
We got this Superman and this Lois.
Yep.
I don't want to I don't want to spoil too much for you, but they're obviously older.
Oh, no,
they're obviously older. Okay. And this Lois, she's been around the block a few times. So she's got a little bit of chip on her shoulder, which we haven't. I don't think we've ever seen that side of Lois before. Like where she's not even super likable at the beginning. Like it takes a little bit for her personality to grow on you.
Okay.
Yeah, but it did.
Oh gosh, why can't I think of her name? Margot.
No.
Amy
Adams.
No, the Christopher Reeve movies.
Oh God, I don't know. Okay, I don't remember the Christopher. Was she pretty hard ass in the Christopher Reeve?
Oh yeah, she was hardcore, man. Like she was like go getter, like reporter, gonna get the story, and was also like just hey, go get me a coffee, like that kind of a deal.
Yeah, so you're getting a little bit of a return to form of the Lois from that, then, as opposed to
Margot Kidder. That's her name.
Because I feel like the Loises we've had recently have been softer or softened. The Terry Hatcher, Amy Adams. Although she had a little more of the reporter vibe going on.
In the director's cut, she's pretty hardcore. She's getting down to the bottom of things. In Man of Steel, she's kind of middle of the road. Yeah.
It's like she's very just not offensive, not to anything one way or the other. Whereas this one seems like she's very headstrong reporter type and a mom. And that is the spin that this show goes on. They got 2 kids.
Interesting.
Yeah.
2
kids.
Are they super? Are they super
well,
kids?
Are they? That's the question.
Oh, we don't know yet. We don't know.
Yeah.
What an interesting way to tackle this show.
Yeah, so it's a whole different take. It's a whole other thing.
That's fun. The world doesn't know he's Clark Kent, right?
And his kids don't even know.
What?
Yeah. I feel like his face has more, like his face is very distinct. Like it should be obvious. I feel like previous Supermans were just a run-of-the-mill white guy that you would confuse with another run-of-the-mill white guy. But this guy has a very distinct face and distinct features. So.
Henry Cavill is I feel like he's super distinct.
Oh,
like anybody who doesn't think that guy is also Superman is, especially working in a newsroom where everybody's a reporter. Come on, man. Everybody should be fired. And he's you're all terrible reporters.
He's this giant beast of a man.
Super. Yeah, absolutely. Now, Christopher Reeve did a great Clark Kent, and Brandon Routh. Brandon Routh probably did a better Clark Kent than he did as Superman.
Did you hear about his comeback? In they did the Brandon Routh Superman in the
CW crossover event.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I didn't see it because at the time my cable provider was feuding with the CW, so there was like a 2-month period of time where we didn't get CW. And honestly, like I wasn't ever invested in the CW shows except for Supergirl when it first came out. We watched that the first season on CBS we watched, and then we watched the second season on the CW, and then I think we gave up after the second season.
See, we had the opposite experience. We got invested in Arrow and the Arrowverse, and then it's about the time Flash came out, maybe the season before that, it was like meh, like we weren't excited about it. And then Flash, we watched the first couple of episodes. It was really good, and I don't know why we didn't finish watching it. I think it was because they were starting to branch off into, I don't even know why. We just stopped watching. Like we didn't even finish the first season, but like I know that show was pretty good. I don't know why we didn't get back to it, but we just stopped.
Yeah, my wife really liked too much
because there's so many. Yeah, there was just so many shows spinning out. I was like, I'm not going to watch every single episode of every.
I'm not going to watch this plus that plus Legends of Tomorrow plus Black Lightning plus Supergirl, and then there's just a lot going on. Which
is cool that we have that much content in that universe.
True.
That's awesome. And this is technically still in the same universe from what I understand. Like he played Superman and Supergirl.
Yeah. Right.
So we're getting some continuity, which is great. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That's it. Like I didn't want to go any farther than that. Like this show has gotten...
There's only one episode. There's only one episode right now.
Yeah, there's one episode. It's got the most views of any show in a while. I don't remember what the statistics are, but it's a lot. Superman and Lois statistics. It's something really ridiculous. As of March 5th, it was 3.25 million viewers, and it's been out for another week and a half since then. So it's going to be close to 4 million probably. So I don't know what's taking them so long with putting the next episode out, but I have a feeling they didn't expect it to blow up like this. It's like they forgot Superman was their biggest character, and they forgot, like, it's like if they made a Batman or a Superman show, it's going to blow up. I don't know why, like, 1 + 1 never equaled 2 for them. I don't know if they just wanted their other characters to do better or what, but it's really blown up.
It also might have been a thing where the DC Warner Brothers people were like, look, y'all can do whatever you want. Just don't touch Batman or Superman on the TV shows because we're reserving them for the movies. Same thing with Wonder Woman. But then as audiences get more familiar with the idea of separate, concurrently running universes, bringing him in isn't that big of a deal. And if they're going to explore multiverses in Flashpoint anyway, then having a couple of different Supermen around can't be that big of a deal. Yeah. And you've already tested it with the CW shows. Having a Crisis on Infinite Earths, bringing Brandon Routh back in.
I didn't see that event. I'm thinking about going back and watching it. Didn't he play the Atom in Arrow? Wasn't Brandon Routh already a DC character?
Yeah, he was already on. He's been on Legends of Tomorrow since that show started.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been in the Arrowverse.
So,
he was only Superman for that one episode or those two episodes, and I don't think they had him interact. And he played an older version of himself too. He was like an older suit. He had like a little bit of gray wisps on the side.
Yeah, I really need to see that.
So I pulled up Tyler Hoechlin, whatever this guy's name is. He turned down the role of Emmett Cullen in the Twilight films. How about that? I couldn't tell you who Emmett is. I don't know who that character is.
Is this the guy? This is the new Superman, Tyler?
Yep.
No, he does a great job. I was really impressed with both of these. Like all of the acting, like all of the storytelling. The only thing that was a little crammed in is like, for convenience sake, like Lois's dad is a general in the military. So like he can just talk to Superman. You know, it's like a convenient relationship to have.
Well, I do remember that was already established in Supergirl.
Like that's
that
a normal.
Her dad was a general.
Was that also established in the Snyderverse? Okay. Yeah, but it just,
Snyderverse, I don't know.
It just feels like an awfully convenient relationship to have, but it's nice. So they can go between the two facets. They can go between Superman being Superman and Superman being dad relatively quickly using that device of her father. So that's cool. It serves a purpose, and but that was the only thing. It was a little bit jarring, but it makes total sense if you're going to have to tell the story and go back and forth between those things to have a device that you can switch easily. Yeah.
Having a handful of people that he can talk to as Superman other than just Lois.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, man. I really enjoyed it. Like me and my wife, we keep checking to see when the next episode's coming out, and they kept pushing the date back. Like it was supposed to come out on the 13th.
That's weird.
And then they pushed it back to the 18th or something. It's really strange, but I really don't think they expected it to be this good or do this well. It's really blown up, and I think maybe Warner Brothers is like, whoa, what's going on here? We knew it'd do good, but it's doing great. It's doing really great. People are really latching onto this. Yeah. And it even has some of the Krypton story. Like they got it all in there. They got the Krypton story in there. They got all kinds of stuff in there. Yeah, it's almost a movie. I think the first episode was like an hour and a half or something. Like it's really a lot.
Oh, okay.
And so it's telling, and it's getting it all in there and telling a whole new story at the same time. You got to watch it. And two, it's
cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's kind of drama-y a little bit too. The high school drama, the kids and stuff. So it's got that CW vibe a little bit, but it's definitely coming.
So wait, the kids are in high school?
Yeah.
So the kids are older? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be like little kids.
No, it's a whole thing.
Interesting.
It's a whole thing.
I'll check it out.
It's perfect drama. It's really perfect drama. It's like, how can we make Superman interesting? Oh, give him two kids, put him in high school. Like that's a different take. Not one I would have thought would even exist. It's definitely fun, and there is a villain as well, and I can't wait. I'm like, when can I watch the next episode? I keep refreshing my CW thing. Like, man, come on.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you got a minute and you want to read up on the Taylor Swift situation, go to the isthisentertainment.com and you can read Jacob's take on what's going on with Taylor Swift re-recording her first 5 albums.
Yeah. It's just a quick blurb. It's not too much. It's not too heavy, I don't think. I hope. It's just factual.
It's informative.
It's informative.
Give it a click. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Also, while you're on the computer, hey, share the podcast with a friend. Maybe even throw out a comment. Like, share, and comment, please. Why not? Do all the things. Help a podcast grow.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just doing it. This podcast is just for me and you right now, at this point.
Hey,
it's
all right.
just me and you talking.
It's our weekly check-in. Maybe somebody's watching something. Maybe somebody's listening to something. Who knows? If
somebody's listening, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. It'd mean a lot to us if you wanted to.
If not, we'll be here. We'll be here next week anyway.
Yeah, we'll be here anyway. Did something happen on Twitter? Oh, we made a thing of the animation. That was fun.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter. You can see the little animated thing.
We took a snippet of our last show, and Jacob put a cool animation to it.
Yeah, that was fun. I didn't even know I could do that.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. We had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about. If you have a question too, just hit us up on the Twitters. Is this int pod at is this int pod? I can't even say that. ENT pod. Yeah. Hit us up over there. Ask us a question. Ask us. I didn't make up. I went the whole episode
without making up a new word. Oh, good job.
Got a new one.
Good job. Ask us. Just go ahead and ask us a question. Do you want to be on the show? Shoot us a message. Do you have an idea? Do you want to talk about something entertaining? Question mark. Let us know. The topic is there a movie or an album, a TV special that you would like us to cover? Hit us up.
And thank you, Ben. Until next time.
We'll do it.
Until next time.
Thank you, Jacob. Bye.
Bye.